Happy birthday, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite podcast, Stop the Internet Podcast. My name is Kelly.
My name is Erin.
It's our birthday! It's the 1-year anniversary of Stop the Internet Podcast.
Woo!
Insert laugh track, insert applause track.
Yay!
I have a surprise for you.
Oh my gosh. I'm scared.
Ta-da! It's
Yay!
cupcakes.
Eagles green cupcakes. I just brushed my teeth.
You're not going to eat one?
Not with a microphone in front of my mouth. I have that that sound thing where I can't listen to people eat, so I wouldn't dare put food in my mouth when someone else is going to listen to this recording. I absolutely cannot do that to anyone.
Is my sister an asshole for not eating the birthday cupcake that I bought her for her birthday? You know
my
what?
birthday is not right now.
You know what? I'm going to throw the whole thing away.
I will happily eat a cupcake after we're done recording because I know how it feels to have to listen to other people chew, and I cannot tolerate it.
Well, some people like it.
Oh my God, that's so...
Don't insult people.
If I have to hear the smacking of your lips, I literally don't want to be in the room with you. So I'm going to happily eat my little Eagles green birthday cupcake after we're done recording this episode. So no one has to listen to that. But happy birthday, Stop the Internet. I'm so excited.
We launched the podcast a year ago. I wanted to have the theme be birthday/anniversary because it's our first anniversary/birthday, whatever you want to call it. But I could not find any interesting stories involving birthdays or anniversaries.
I feel like in general, there's more tea with an anniversary than there is with a birthday, but I can see how you couldn't find any.
You'd think. So instead of trying to make something out of nothing with these boring ass stories, I figured I would just gather a bunch of stories that sparked my interest regarding the topics I like the most.
Okay. I'm going to start by sharing my favorite memory from each of the hosts' episodes.
Oh, this is cute.
So I'm going to start with mine just because that's my core memory is one of my favorite stories from the first episode we ever... it's the first episode we ever released. Kelly and I recorded an episode to do a sound check. We recorded for hours, decided we hated it didn't go well, re-recorded another first episode, and that was the first episode you guys heard. But my favorite story from that episode was the one where we talked about roommates, and the roommate kept going into this person's bedroom, and they were like, you need to stop going in, and she literally went in and was like, I can't find my son. And it's like, how did you lose your son possibly in your roommate's bedroom?
No, okay, this is the episode we did release, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
How did you lose your son in your little apartment, possibly in your roommate's bedroom with the door closed while he's in there with his girlfriend?
Wow.
Your son is not in there.
I forgot about that. It's crazy to think how many stories we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think one of my... This doesn't really relate to the favorite memories thing, but going off what you said about recording the first episode and then throwing it away because it wasn't good enough, I feel like we've learned so much in this year, and we still have so much to learn, but it's crazy to just look back and think about how much work and time and planning and production goes into this. It doesn't seem like it, I feel like, from the outside. From the outside, it probably just looks like, oh yeah, we just sit down and we talk for an hour and a half about whatever we think that week. But it is so hard to get good stories and get into the rhythm of conversation sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I think there was only a few episodes that were recorded and not released. Mm-hmm. But we've just learned so much over the past year. And it's so weird to look back at the first episode. And I feel like we were so young, even though it was only a year ago, and so inexperienced. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm sure we're going to look back on this episode in a year or whatever and be like, what were you talking about?
Literally, what were we doing?
So I am excited to see where it goes. Okay, I'll let you get back into your favorite memories from each of the hosts.
My next favorite memory is Trisha, and it was the spooky episode, and she was telling the spooky story about you hear your mother's name calling you from downstairs, and as you start to go downstairs, you hear your mother calling you from upstairs saying, wait, I heard it too. And it's like, which one do you believe? That one really spooked me, and I loved it.
I hate that story.
I love that story.
Well, I love it, but I hate it because it's so scary.
My favorite Jimmy story is when the guy that ate the shell on the hard-boiled eggs. And I can still, in my mind, picture Jimmy, like, pretending he's throwing a whole hard-boiled egg in his mouth. And like pretending to crunch on it. And it's like, what are we doing here? And I have to say, since that episode has aired, I have definitely heard of other people eating entire shells. And I'm like, what is going on here? There's a lot of people out there, to each their own. I don't know how healthy that can be if you don't chew it up really well. But just like thinking about you and Jimmy talking about the nutrition that comes with the eggshell and maybe how we shouldn't be eating that is my favorite Jimmy memory. I often play the Kelee episode for people when dating or funny stories comes up. I just have to let Kelee be the one to tell the story of the guy sucking her toes and her not knowing it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And her doing the boop boop where he like boops her boobs out in public.
Wait, a question that we got about that episode, I forget if it was in a story highlight or a TikTok or on the actual full episode, but somebody asked, did he actually do the boop boop sound effects? And yes,
that's why the story is so great.
He didn't just like touch her boobs like that. That would also be insane, but I think not as weird. It still would have been rude and uncalled for.
No, he literally bopped her boobs at the same time as going boop boop.
Boop boop. He said it out loud. Yes.
So that is just like a story that I will never get over in my lifetime. And then I think Rebecca, I hold a little jealousy of Rebecca because she got to recap the Taylor Swift concert on an episode, and I was ready to come in here fired up from the Eras tour, so I'm jealous of that. But I think my favorite memory of Rebecca is when she accidentally threw the gavel and you guys all freaked out as if it hit our intern Kenny, and it's like, he's my favorite intern.
It did hit him. You said
Kenny,
as if it hit him.
Is this true?
Yeah, right? You remember.
Okay, I don't believe that it actually hit Kenny.
It hit him.
I don't believe that.
He's telling us right now.
Okay. But, all right, I don't know how I feel about that, but Kenny's my favorite, our only intern, and like, how could Rebecca just throw a gavel so carelessly?
Right, and I still wonder that.
I know. So those are my favorite memories of each of the people. I do have another favorite memory, an episode that never got aired. It was last fall. It was us and Trisha, and we recorded talking about like urban legends.
Yeah.
And that never aired, but it was really fun to just like get to sit down with Trisha and think back to like our childhood and like the urban legends that we used to tell as if they were fact and someone at like grade school told us them.
Yeah.
And then I have to just call out Trisha really quick because in last week's episode, you were literally talking about like, I wouldn't want someone to make fun of my sister. And Trisha goes, people already make fun of Erin. And it's like, they do. But you didn't have to remind people about that. So
the drama.
Here we are. I have good memories of everyone and some weird memories of everyone. But I have so much love for everyone on this podcast that like, no matter what they talk about, I cackle, I laugh out loud, and I just enjoy listening to everyone's takes on everything.
Wow, that was so cute. I'm going to insert an applause track again.
Yay!
I didn't prep memories.
Well, you can just talk about your favorite things about me.
Where to begin? I have so many that I cannot even begin to name them.
Wow. Amazing.
I think we'll keep it at that, and maybe I'll do mine when we hit like 500 million subscribers. Okay. Which we're quickly approaching. So I will say my only request for all of our listeners is please share this podcast with your friends. Help us grow. We need listeners in order to keep it going. We can't do it without you. The fans. Our literal community.
Fan that's blowing on us right now. I couldn't do it without that.
Oh yeah, I'll use my time to say my favorite thing about the listeners, because you talked about the host, I'll talk about the listeners.
Okay.
Everyone in the comments is so nice. And yes, we do get hate comments sometimes. And if people leave hate comments, I literally block them because I'm like, why would I leave your hateful comment on my channel? So all haters will be deleted and blocked from this channel.
No bullies here.
Yeah.
We don't tolerate bullying in this house.
No. I just love how nice everyone is and how supportive. And when people take the time to comment and either engage in a story and leave their opinion or their take on it, or if they're just saying like, oh my gosh, so excited. Or sometimes people will comment like first at like 12:01 a.m. when the episode airs. And I'm like, it affects my emotions in such a real way. Like I get so happy and grateful and emotional when people leave these comments, and it makes me so happy because I feel like everyone else that hosts and is on this podcast, we're all so passionate about it, and this is just like my favorite thing in the world, and I love doing this. So I really appreciate all the positive feedback and constructive criticism, because sometimes people will leave requests or constructive comments, and I love that as well. So thank you.
And everyone that's ever commented on an episode saying Erin episodes are my favorite or I love Erin, just know that I know who you are. Please send me a message so I can send you a gift, because I appreciate you so much.
Okay. Should we get into it?
Yay!
Yay! Our year anniversary episode. Here we go. What to talk about first? Here's one that stopped me in my tracks. Am I the asshole for wearing a white dress on my birthday 2 weeks before my brother-in-law and his fiance are getting married? I don't know if I can include the dress, but Thursday was my 40th birthday. I usually don't celebrate birthdays. My husband just makes me dinner and gives me a present, and then my mom invites me for breakfast and gives me a present from the whole family. But when I turned 20 and 30, I had a bigger party, and now too. I invited immediate family and my closest friends. The party was yesterday, and it was a great day. I'm so hungover now. I noticed that my brother-in-law, my husband's brother, and his fiance were a bit standoffish, but my soon-to-be sister-in-law is always standoffish with me, so nothing new. Today, my husband woke up to a long text message berating us because I wore a white dress. They're getting married in 2 weeks, and I should have known better. TBH, I swear on my grandma's grave that I didn't think about any of this. Because why would you?
Why would you? Yeah.
Sister-in-law thinks that I always wear inappropriate clothes that draw attention to me, so now she's demanding to see what I will be wearing at her wedding. I asked if they're asking everyone. No, just me. I said, then I refuse. Now they say I'm an asshole for wearing white and then for refusing to show the dress I'm wearing to the wedding. Threatening to disinvite my husband and I. My husband is conflicted. I don't know. I think I'd rather have my husband go alone than be treated like a child. Am I the asshole for wearing white to my party? And am I the asshole for refusing to show my dress for the wedding? She also included links to the dresses, and I will insert photos in the video.
This was worn to her own birthday party.
Yeah, 2 weeks before someone she knew is getting married.
It's nothing bridal. I mean, it could be bridal if you wore that to a bridal shower or an engagement party or a brunch or something. It could absolutely be a bridal dress, but this is your birthday. You can wear whatever you want. I've worn white on my birthdays. I am shook right now because I get where they're coming from. Like 2 weeks before a wedding, it's very close. Things are starting to be about the wedding, but like this isn't about you. And quite frankly, it's probably not a lot of crossover people. Like if we go out for my birthday and Kelly's boyfriend's sister is about to get married or something like that, and they come out, it's like my friends are not thinking about your boyfriend's sister's wedding.
Yeah, it's her brother-in-law's wedding. Like that, yeah, exactly.
Like her friends are not worried about her husband's brother's wedding.
I kind of don't see where I feel like you're trying to be nice and you're like, I see where she's coming from. I literally don't see where she's coming from. I think she's so absurd to be mad over this. It is always somebody's wedding in 2 weeks. Like someone's always getting married in 2 weeks.
That is so true.
So every time I wear white to a bar, is someone going to be like, I'm getting married in 2 weeks. Like, why are you wearing white here?
That's true.
Like if we thought about literally every relationship we knew, everyone we know, am I not allowed to wear white in the vicinity of any of those people within like a certain amount of time of their wedding? Like, and also like, where is this girl drawing the line? Like if it was 3 weeks before the wedding, if it was a month before the wedding, wedding, is she allowed to wear white? If it was 2 months before, is she allowed to wear white? Like, what is this like weird rule that you're making in your head to get mad at your sister-in-law for?
It sounds even more weird because clearly they're not close enough that she's like in the bridal party if they don't know what she's wearing to the wedding.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's your bridesmaid wearing white out all around to all your wedding events. She's just a guest at your wedding that you didn't even think about what she was wearing before because you don't care enough to have her in your wedding.
Yeah.
And you're suddenly mad that she's wearing a dress that she thought was pretty on her birthday out with her friends and her family. Hell no.
This is feeling just like internalized resentment because the sister-in-law is saying, oh, you always wear clothing to grab attention and you're doing it with a white dress this time. It's like, okay, first of all, nobody's thinking about you. If we're out for OP's birthday, some people might mention to you, oh my God, I know your wedding's coming up. Congrats. This isn't about you.
Yeah.
When you get married, you have one day. Maybe you have 3. Maybe you have your wedding, your bridal shower, your bachelorette, and we'll throw in an extra, the engagement party. Okay, you get 4. One main one. I feel like most people only get 1.
Yeah.
The wedding day when you're getting married. That's what's about you, okay? Everyone else's life keeps going on. I feel like this is an important thing for everyone to remember. It's like when something is going on in our lives, it's like consuming our every single day. That's not the same for everybody else.
Yeah.
So when your wedding is coming up, people think of your wedding as one day. If it's a destination wedding, it's 1 week.
Yeah.
Nobody's thinking about you in the weeks and months leading up to it. For you, it's an everyday thing. For everyone else, it's one day. So stop assuming that everyone else is thinking of you and picking a white dress in order to grab attention and take it away from you. And you know what? Even if she was wearing an outfit that she wanted to get attention in, go off. It's her birthday.
I was just going to say, I'm like, let's be real. I pretty much always wear an outfit that's like attention seeking because you know what? I feel good in it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and to be fair, I feel good in sweatpants too. I wear sweatpants a fair amount or leggings. But like if I'm leaving the house, I probably want to feel good and look good, feel good. I'm probably going to wear something that's like fun and flashy and exciting because that's what all my friends are going to wear and they all feel good and I want to look good and feel good with them. And you're allowed to do that, especially on your birthday in whatever color you want to wear.
Yeah. I think actually the only time you shouldn't do that is
at
if
a wedding.
you're going to someone else's wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she can do whatever she wants outside of your wedding day.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can move on to the second part of the story. Is she an asshole for not showing the couple the dress that she's planning on wearing?
That's hard because it's like they didn't care what you were going to wear before. Mm-hmm. You're not close enough to be in their wedding. Mm-hmm. You really don't owe them anything other than to show up and give a gift. And like, this is me swallowing my pride because I wouldn't want to do it either. But like, you could also just show them what you're wearing to shut them the hell up. You don't want to give in and be like, fine, you win. But at the same time, it gets them off your back and it gives you more peace in the end.
And also, like, I get that she's offended. She's like, you're only asking me because you're accusing me. Like, they are only asking her because they think that she's going to make a bad choice. So they're kind of like assuming that she's a bad person or that she's going to make this like immature choice to wear something that's attention grabbing to their wedding. So I get why she doesn't want to show them. But at the same time, the dress that she's wearing, she included pictures. It's just a sleek black strapless dress. Like, it's very wedding appropriate. So why wouldn't you just be like, dude, what are you even talking about? I wore a sparkly dress to my own birthday party, not even in the same weekend as your wedding.
With different people.
With my friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the dress I'm wearing to your wedding. Like, who do you think I am? Yeah. I would almost present it to them and be like, you really think I'm that bad of a person to wear a crazy dress to your wedding? I'm literally wearing this black dress. Yeah. But if you really have a problem with it, let me know.
Yeah.
I would almost like throw it on them.
Absolutely. The way this bride is making it sound is if her maid of honor wore a white dress to her bridal shower. Like, that's literally how this sounds. And it's like, girlie, take a step back. Yeah. You need to calm down. You're being too loud. Can you just not step on our gowns? Please.
I also feel like this might just be like a whole different topic, but I also think that on a wedding day, like, there is this like societal rule to not wear white to a wedding or not wear anything even remotely close to white to a wedding. Mm-hmm. And I will live by that rule. Hopefully I will stand by that any wedding I go to. But I'm a wedding photographer and I always see people at weddings that like other people point out to me and they're like, oh my God, is that girl wearing white? And then I'm like, what girl? Like, I don't don't even notice them.
Yeah.
So I get that it can. Oh, what were you gonna say?
I went to a wedding recently, and we were sitting down for the ceremony, and the group I was with was like, "Don't turn your heads now." And naturally, we all were like, "Where are we going?" And there was a woman in full white, head to toe, sitting across from us, and we were like, "That is bold." Like, it was like a white suit.
What relationship do you think she had to the bride?
I have no idea. She wasn't involved in anything. She was sitting in the same aisles as we were.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, that is bold. And I was like, I personally believe that you can only do that if you were the mother of the bride.
Yeah, and she asked you to wear it.
And right, exactly. And we were all just like, good for her. Like, if she was confident. And to be fair, the outfit was fire. We were all like, damn, that's an awesome outfit. I'd want to wear that too. But maybe like not this event.
I feel like it's not good for her. It's not like a good for you, girl, if you have the It's almost
okay. I mean, good for you for like purchasing that outfit and wanting to look fire in it.
Yeah.
You really should have stepped on your own toes there and been like, I'm not going to wear this to a wedding.
Right. Yeah, the point I was gonna get at is like all these dresses that are like crazy or looking too similar to white or whatever, like people think, oh, it's gonna take away from the bride. And it's like, it really doesn't take away from the bride.
Doesn't.
Like, I would say absolutely nothing takes away from the bride.
Yeah, that's totally
on the
fair.
wedding day. Like, I don't even notice unless it's like a dress that I think is like, I do notice people's dresses at weddings just because I like fashion and I'm like, oh, what is everyone wearing? And I'm like, oh my God, I love her dress, love that, whatever. But I've never thought like, bold choice for a wedding about the color of a dress, I guess. And I thought this was interesting. There was a really famous influencer / celebrity at a wedding that I photographed recently, and she wore an off-white like beige colored dress, and I saw comments on her. No, it wasn't even off-white. It was like a beige like champagne colored dress, and there were comments that were like, is this a little bit too close to white for a wedding?
Yikes.
And she commented back and was like, no, in person it's like not at all. And I agree with her, but I'm like, I also kind of feel like people are so quick to like judge something and be like, that's too close to white to wear, like how dare you? And it's like, it's really not. And sometimes you can't tell based off a picture. Like in real life, it looked like a tan dress and nobody would ever think anything of it. Of course, like there's pictures posted and then everyone loves drama. So they're like, oh my God, too close to white. But anyway, overall, to bring this irrelevant tangent back to the story, it's like even if this girl was attempting to wear an attention-seeking outfit, like the bride is just, I feel like, worrying too much about this. Like you can't control what everyone wears to your wedding unless you send out a detailed dress code and kick people out or not let people in if they're not dressing to it. Yeah. So like don't spend your time in the 2 weeks leading up to your wedding worrying about what your
fiance's sister-in-law.
Yeah, your fiance's sister-in-law is gonna wear
to her own birthday.
Well, no, to the wedding.
Well,
but
yeah, but
just
like
because of her birthday outfit. Yeah, it's like what someone wears to their birthday has absolutely nothing to do with your wedding. That's like the whole point.
I just like can't even I'm trying to think about things that I've worn on my birthdays. I guess I can't really judge that because it's like my birthday outfits are like Vegas outfits. But like I'm trying to think of like things that I've worn out in the city of Philadelphia that anyone would even look at me and be like, that's going to change what she's going to wear to my wedding. Like,
yeah,
what?
It's just so irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly. It's so irrelevant. I can't fathom it.
I think the sister-in-law just doesn't like OP based on all the evidence, and she's trying to create drama and trying to make her look bad and create drama around her. Yep. But I feel like OP is so in the right that she can shut it down so easily and make the sister-in-law look dumb because anyone that brings it up, she can just be like, this is the dress I'm wearing. Like, what is she talking about? Or like, I don't know where she got this crazy idea that I'm going to wear something weird to her wedding. Like, I'm literally wearing a black dress. And then just shut it down there. Yeah. And the less you feed into it, the dumber she's going to look and the less drama in your family it's going to create.
Yeah, it's definitely, she's just being crazy. Don't feed into it. Shut it down. Give yourself your own peace of mind so that you can sleep well tonight knowing that she's crazy and you're not.
I love a good wedding story.
Another wedding that I went to recently, Kelly has worked with the photographers of this wedding and told them that I would be there. And later on in the cocktail hour, hour. I chatted with the photographer because she came over, took a group picture. I was like, oh my gosh, are you so-and-so? She said, yes, are you Kelly's sister? I was like, yes, I am. She said, as soon as you walked into the church, I said to my second shooter, that has to be Kelly's sister. And the second photographer was like, I don't know. I don't know if I see it. And I was like, it is so funny to me that people either 100% see it or 100% don't.
Yeah. Everyone in the YouTube comments didn't see
Really?
it.
People don't see it?
Well, in the beginning of the podcast, when we would like allude to being sisters or related or mention randomly like, oh, well, we're sisters, people would be like, wait, you're sisters? I didn't know. Or
That's
like, how did I
more,
not realize?
That's even more weird too, because you dyed your hair blonde back then too.
Yeah.
So we looked even more alike.
Yeah. Tell us in the comments, do we look alike? Okay, this story reminded me of a story that we talked about in the past where you're in a really solid, like healthy relationship, but then you find out something that your partner did either in the very, very beginning or before you started dating. And the question is like, is this thing that happened or that they did severe enough to end this relationship? And would you end this relationship over this thing that happened like way in the past?
I actually was thinking about this story recently too, where the OP wrote that he pretended to be someone else and basically catfished his girlfriend and then was like, oh, it was me the whole time.
Yeah, that was what I was referring to.
Right, I know. And I'm thinking about how we reacted like, oh, that's so freaking weird, like blah, blah, blah. And then all I can play in my head is Mastermind by Taylor Swift. And it's like, she did that. And none of us, I mean, it was you and I recording that episode. None of us thought to be like, Taylor can do it, so why can't this guy?
I guess that episode did come out after Mastermind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We fricked up. But anyway.
I think, though, that showing up to a party because you know that your crush is going to be there and going out of your way to introduce yourself to them is way different than
catfishing
someone. Yeah.
For sure.
I met someone recently who they started dating their boyfriend when they were in high school, and they were like, I wanted to meet him, so I threw a party with my friends and we invited him because I had a crush on him. And then they're like, "Ooh, Mastermind." It's like, well, that's just like normal. You're just shooting your shot. Like that's a creative way to meet someone.
That's how you get to hang out with someone. Yeah. You invite them to a gathering.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I don't find that weird at all. Yeah. So if people are setting up these like weird things in order to meet their crush, I'm like, that's not necessarily a weird thing. It's weird when you catfish them
into and a then cafe.
Set it up. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So this story doesn't have anything to do with the Mastermind stuff, but like I said, it's like, is this weird
Similar
enough?
Vibes.
Yeah, is this weird enough to end a relationship? I just found out that my wife, female 25, sent invasive texts about me, male 25, when we first started dating. We have been married for about a year and dated for a little more than 4 years before that. Our relationship has been pretty great so far. So they're 5 years in to their relationship and they're married. But then yesterday, my wife asked for my help clearing some storage space from her phone, and I found something that really shocked me. I was deleting old group texts and stuff like that she said she didn't need anymore, and I came across a conversation with some of her college friends, 3 other girls, from about 5 years ago, and I clicked on it to see if she'd still want it. After a couple scrolls up, which I admit was me being a bit nosy, I ran into conversations that were about me. In one of the first ones, I saw my wife said something like, he came dressed like an old man, but at least he's really cute, which I was like, oh, that's odd. She never mentioned that about my outfit, but at least not overly bad. But it got worse. The craziest one I saw was a photo of the top of my head while I was going down on her after our second date. My wife wrote along with the photo, he's a keeper, but something about it just felt so hurtful and invasive. You couldn't really see my face, but it was clearly me. It would have been one thing if she would have asked to take a photo, which I would have said no, but for her to do that and me find out 5 years later felt like I was learning something about the woman I thought I knew everything about and thought I loved everything about. Other messages that I saw also felt like a punch to the gut. My wife at least twice mocked my size, saying at one point that I was the easiest BJ ever, and to get yourself a small small man, to which her friends responded with several lines of laughter. Keep in mind that my wife has never once mentioned to me that she had an issue with my size and has even mentioned that I'm big. I also saw that she would send her friends screenshots of texts that I sent her, essentially confessing my love for her, which obviously I didn't know about or I would have told her not to. I brought it up to her and basically told her that it made me feel violated, but she said that 1, I was being invasive myself by looking through the messages, and 2, that it was so long ago and that we are both different and better people now than we were 5 years ago. She's not entirely wrong about either of those, but I just still feel hurt by what she did. I could use some advice. Should I just move on? Is there some way to explain to her that this still hurts me so bad?
Holy shit.
Oh, this is so sad.
This is really sad because, like, if she's gonna twist this around and be like, this is invasive, like, okay, sorry, a picture of me doing sexual acts is not invasive.
I know.
First of all, that's illegal.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Probably. I think it would be illegal because of voyeurism.
Yeah.
So it's illegal to take photos or recordings of people where there's a reasonable expectation of privacy. Okay. And I think that a court would rule that in a bedroom where adult things are going on, there would be a reasonable expectation of privacy.
Lawyer friends, please comment and let us know.
Yeah.
I'm curious. But yeah, that's invasive. Like, let's not gaslight here and twist things around because of things that you said and did with your friends about me. I personally, people have heard me stand on my soapbox for a year now about how much I hate, like, cheaters. And, like, I think that all circles back to loyalty. And if you can't trust someone, you can't spend forever with someone. And, like, I know that's asking a lot, but in the same sense, like, I fully trust the people that I keep in my life right now. Like, I would trust my life with, like, my closest friends, my family. And I feel like I have to feel that about the person that I'm marrying, no matter how long I've been with them. And if I'm looking back at these things that happened when we first started dating and I literally can't trust this person, how am I supposed to spend the rest of my life, have a child, share my finances, like, dedicate my entire being to someone who I literally couldn't have trusted from the beginning had I known what was going on?
Yeah.
And that's just, I hate to say, like, oh, like, some people never change, or, like, once a cheater, always a cheater. But, like, that's just, like, the stepping stone of you don't know what else has been said or shared about you. You don't know.
I feel like it's hard because a lot of times in the beginning of relationships, especially if you don't expect a relationship to go anywhere, maybe you think this is only going to be a few dates or it's just going to be a casual hookup and it's not my forever person. People tend to divulge so many more details than they would about a committed long-term relationship.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's so common, especially in girls. Like, I've had lots of girlfriends tell me details of more casual hookups or like first or second dates. Mm-hmm. But how often are friends coming to you divulging that much personal information about their long-term relationships in the sense that they're like making fun of the guy? Yeah. You know? So I feel like maybe this girl at first was like, oh, I like him, I'm interested in him, but it's not really going to go anywhere. Yeah. And that's maybe why she was sending all these things. I'm almost positive that anyone who really wants to be in a relationship with someone that they just met, this guy that they just started going on dates with, like, who would be going and making fun of them to their friends? Yeah. I feel like something that matters a lot to many people, at least many people that I know, is you really want your friends and your family to like your partner and to think highly of them and to have good perceptions of them, almost to the point where if you get in a fight, it's like there's that phrase that's like, if you get in a fight with someone, don't tell your parents and don't tell your best friend, because they're going to be looking out for you and they're never going to forget it. Whereas if it's just this like lighthearted thing, you could move on and get past it with your partner. So I feel like it's one of those things. Like, if she actually thought that she was going to wind up marrying this guy, I'm sure she wouldn't be making fun of him to her friends. Yeah. So while that's not okay, regardless, like, it's not okay to take pictures of someone, or it's not kind to make fun of them and talk about them behind their back, I would bet that almost everyone has told their friends about an intimate experience they've had with a partner or a date.
I guess maybe I'm the weird one. I mean, don't get me wrong. I tell I'm an open book to most people in my life, but I have literally never like made fun of or done something weird or said something so weird about someone I've gone on even just 1 or 2 dates with, unless it's already ended and something so weird happened and I couldn't get over it and I needed to tell my friends. Like, there are definitely some people that I've like dated here and there that I will currently make fun of because they deserve it. If it was someone that like never did anything weird and was always good to me, even if like there's some weird detail that I want to share with my friends, I will share that with them, but I won't make it out to be like I'm like judging this person or making fun of this person or like undermining or demeaning this person. Like, I very much have never done anything like that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I've ever done that either. Like, I don't think I've ever shared information with the purpose of making a joke out of somebody else's like life experience.
Real life.
Yeah. Okay. I see that too.
I mean, I have like definitely said things to my friends that are like, I don't know, like making fun of certain things about people, but like I said, like only if they deserve it. Like if they did something to me and I'm like to my friends, I'm like, yeah, well, you want to hear about whatever, like of course I'm gonna do that. Like, you cheated on me, I'm gonna make fun of you.
Yeah,
you deserve it. But like, if you treated me well, you never did anything weird, we went on 2 dates, say, and like things were fine and dandy, trust me, I have nothing bad to say about you, and I'm not going to be weird to my friends about you. I'm just going to be like, didn't work out. Yeah. But maybe that's a maturity thing. Like, do we know how old these people are?
They're 25. And so
this
5
happened
years
at
ago,
20 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I mean, when I was 20 years old, I really don't think I was like fully making fun of people. I don't know. Maybe I was. I don't remember. But I can honestly say that at this point in my life, no one in my adult life that I've dated or gone on dates with has anything like this ever crossed my mind to say to my friends.
I think it hits harder for this OP because the messages were about him. So if he is wondering whether this thing that his wife did, which is make fun of him via text and share the details about their intimacy, like if he is wondering if this is who she is this her character, it's hitting deeper because the texts were about him. It would be the same whether it was about him or another guy or a third guy or whoever. So I feel like he should almost take himself out of it and be like, if I found these texts that my wife sent when she was 20 years old in college with her girlfriends about another random guy, would I end my relationship over it? Because if you're thinking character, it doesn't even matter who she's talking about. True. It just matters that she did the thing to someone.
Yeah.
Obviously, it hits harder because it's you, the one that she ended up with.
Yeah.
But I think that people do grow and they are different than who they were 5 years ago. And I don't remember everything I've ever done when I was 20 years old, but I'm sure I said something or did something that if I remembered it or if someone brought it up now, I'd be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. Or there's a better way to talk to my friends about that. Or if I found something funny, maybe I could talk to them in a way that isn't just making fun of someone. Or maybe I wouldn't have shared their name I would just keep them anonymous when I'm telling the funny story or something. Yeah. We've all made mistakes. And I don't know if this is who she is now. Yeah. Because when she was a college girly hooking up with a guy that she just met and she's talking to her friends about it in text messages, like, I don't know if that's relationship ending for me. So if it was my boyfriend or now husband 5 years ago was saying shitty things about me or sending way too much information about me, I'd be pissed. I'd be literally livid. I think honestly the worst part of this is the photo, because a photo lives forever. Like, that I would definitely go to therapy over that. And I would, if I had the resources, I would like literally hire a tech person to make sure that the photo is absolutely nowhere else on the internet. Yeah. But I feel like people say, I don't know. I just feel like people make mistakes, and I'm sure I've said something mean about somebody that I've dated at some point. Yeah. And it's like, are you gonna end a relationship 5 years later because I made a joke about you in text messages to my girlfriends? Like, I would be so hurt. I'd be furious. I'd be livid, and it would probably take therapy and a lot of honest communication to get over. But I don't think I'd end my marriage on this.
I think thinking about a big picture, like what you just said, I probably agree to the extent of the ages that they were.
Right.
Like if it was a college girly doing this, fine, because like, I mean, it happened when I was in college, not necessarily to me, but to friends. Like a whole fraternities group text leaked about all these girls at my college, and I'll never forget some of the things that were said or shared like that. Like you said, like it's an immaturity thing. People grow. If at 28 years old, someone that I dated that's 28, 29, 30 to 36, 38 years old is saying these things about me, they're a whole adult. They know what they want. They know how they're behaving. Their frontal lobe is formed. And like that I couldn't live with, because I would truly think that that's how this adult person sees and feels about me. And they're not going to grow out of that. A 20-year-old is going to grow out of it.
I agree. And I feel like this idea that the growth that happens between 20 and 25 is tremendous. The growth that happens between 25 and 30 is tremendous. But as you get older, 5 years flies by so much faster. Your life typically between 20 and 25 changes so much more than it does between 32 and 37 for most people, or between 40 and 45. Those 5 years when you're younger, like when you're 20 to 25, that's 20% of your life.
Yeah.
So of course that 20% of your life is going to shape you so much more drastically. If you're 35, 20% of your life is more than 5 years. If you're 40, it's even more. If you're 50, it's even more. So I do agree with that. If they were 27 and I was 32, I would not be happy about it. But I agree that she almost seems like a child, like she's in school. I also think, going off of what you said about like the whole frat and the group text, like I am so anti all of that. It pisses me off. It makes me so mad and furious. If I had friends or a brother or a son who was involved in that, I would be so deeply disappointed in anyone that I loved if they were involved in that. But also I think that good people can get caught up in bad things because their friends are doing it, because they're involved in this brotherhood and everyone else is doing it. I'm not saying it's right, but I think it's easier for people to get caught up in things like that. So who knows, maybe this OP's wife, maybe all her friends for 6 months before or for years before had been sharing updates on the guys they were dating, on the hookup culture, on every single experience they had, and then the wife was like, oh well, now I'm dating someone, I can add to the story, haha, like laugh with me, it's my turn. Like,
and I think that all trickles down to age.
Yeah,
like, I'm not doing that at 28 years old. Granted, most of my friends are married, so everyone's not sharing their deepest, darkest secrets. It's like me and Rebecca left, but like for real, like I guess it would just be so different if someone was saying those things about me when we were in our 20, like at 20 years old in our college prime, versus someone saying that about me now as like a full-grown adult at 28 years old. And obviously I'm not saying I'm old, but I'm a whole adult with a career now, and pretty much we know what I'm gonna look like when I grow up. And if someone was saying that about me now, I'd be like, okay, you thought I was disgusting at 28 years old, what's gonna make me want to have your kid at 30 or like you know, continue my life with you? That's what would like get to me. Like I don't think I could want to like spend my life with someone who thinks these horrible things about my body, or like reproduce with someone who thinks I'm this like I don't know, like that is something that I couldn't get past at this age. I could get over if it happened to me right now at 28 years old that I saw from 5 years ago when I was 22, whatever, graduating college. I could see getting over that now. But if it happens to me right now and I find out that the person that I start seeing right now that does this now 5 years from now, I don't want to live with them. I don't want them to see me like naked every day when I get in the shower. I don't want to have a child with them. Like, that's horrendous.
Yeah, I think I could cut somebody some slack if they were involved in it in college.
Yeah.
But when you're an adult, that would be where I draw the line. It is interesting to think, though, like, what if they were 25 and did it? What if they were 26 and did it? Like, where is the line? I guess it depends on the person.
I think it depends on the person and where you are in life.
Yeah.
Like, when I was 25, a lot of my friends were with the people that they are now married to, and none of them would have done it.
Yeah.
But when we were 20, they would have. Now, at 28 to 30, like, we're all adults here. We're all seriously dating to find our person that we're going to spend the rest of our life with. And if someone at this point in my life says horrible things about me, I do not want to be with them, no matter when I find out.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, that's to say that I'm not dating a 22-year-old. Like, I'm going to date someone my age bracket or older.
I also think with the age thing, it also involves experience. Like, when you're 20, you might think that those things are the most important. So those things that she was making fun of you for, I'm not saying that it was nice or okay, but she probably thought that those were like the most important things. And over 5 years and throughout your whole relationship, she's learned that there are so many more important things than those things that she was talking about. And I'm sure she values your relationship for so many other reasons, and she doesn't even think about those things anymore, and that's why she doesn't say them to you. So I feel like keep that in mind too. Like, those things no longer matter to her because she's not 20 years old anymore.
Right.
So I think that's in your favor as well.
I think that also circles back to what I'm saying about, like, now, where it's like if someone were to, like, hate on my looks or, like, how I do something now, like, that's probably not going to change a whole lot for the better between now and, like, 35. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to get better looking as I age.
You might, but why is that relevant?
Because I'm saying, like, she was talking about, like, all these physical things about him, and it's like things can get better from when you're 20 to 25, but I don't know that, like, certain things are going to necessarily get better from, like, 30 to 35. So it's like if there's a chance that things are only going to get worse, I really hope you're not saying it's bad now.
Right. Like, if they were saying, like, oh, he has a baby face and a squeaky voice at 20, it's like, okay, say that about me. Yeah, I did.
Right.
Or, like, I was probably ugly at 20. But
or, like,
then,
inexperienced, or, like, what, like, whatever.
But if you feel that you are, like, better looking or have grown in those areas, you're like, okay, fine, it wouldn't hurt you as bad.
Yeah. And it's like, if I'm only gonna age and, like, I don't know, get fatter and wrinklier and, like,
I see what you mean.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna get lame at some point in my life. So, like, if you think I'm lame now, like, sorry, don't date me.
So, based off of the information in the story, if you were 25, it happened when they were 20, would you end the relationship?
I don't think it's marriage ending.
I agree.
If it's over something that happened at 20.
I agree.
And it's not like she did anything, like, it's not like you found out she murdered someone, cheated on you, chopped their head off. Like, you found out she, like, talked about your sex life. Like, let's BFFR here.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, another dating story. My 27 male girlfriend, 22 female of over a year posted us on an Are We Dating the Same Person Facebook page, and I don't know how to feel. My girlfriend and I have been together for about a year and 4 months now. It has been a rocky start to our relationship, but I finally thought we were at a point where we were past that stuff. So I got a DM from a random man on Facebook stating that my girlfriend had posted a picture of us to a group that apparently posts pictures of men whom the poster is dating, trying to see what info they can gather on the man. From what I can tell, it usually turns into bashing the man. The group has something like 20,000 members from my area, and it is female only. The post about me had a few people I know write things about me. Most was good, but 2 posts were outright lies and were completely slanderous. Shit. In my opinion, the group is totally in the wrong, and I don't think it is okay to be posting random men and slandering them without their knowledge. I was not comfortable with the fact that my girlfriend posted our relationship like that and gave everyone and their mother a chance to tear me a new one. I spoke with my girlfriend about it, and she maintains that she sees no problem with it and will continue to be an active member of the group. Speaking of which, she is a top contributor of the group and comments a lot, apparently. She told me she is sorry that my opinion on the matter differs from hers and that I should just stop bringing it up. My main thing is, why does she need the opinion of 20,000 random people to know if she can trust me? Which, by the way, I have given her absolutely no reason to believe she can't. Also, her reaction to me bringing it up is a concern. I'm a grown-ass man and I am too old to be pulled into this shit. What do I do? How do I go about trying to get her to understand where I'm coming from without being met with defensiveness, aggression, and gaslighting?
Ooh. How long did he say they were dating when she posted him?
A year and 4 months.
Ooh, okay. She shouldn't be in this group. I'm familiar with these Are We Dating the Same Person groups. In my understanding, they are fully meant to be, if I start dating someone, I'm going to post, just make sure they're not dating another girly in the same city as me. Let's just all get on the same page. If you dated him 2 months ago and he did something horrendous to you, like, let me know so that we're all, it's more like women looking out for women. And I just really feel, and I could be looking at this incorrectly, incorrectly, but I just really feel that if you've been in a relationship for a year and a half, you don't really need to be in this group anymore worrying about who everyone else is dating and what everyone is saying about other people.
Yeah, but I feel like it could be like, what if you were on the dating apps for a few years when you were single and you went on like 50 different dates and interacted with 50 different guys? Even though you're in a relationship now, you still had past experiences with them. Or what if you saw your best friend's boyfriend being posted? So I don't think it's a bad thing that she's in it.
Let me rephrase.
Yeah.
She should not have posted her boyfriend a year and a half in.
Yeah, that shows insecurity.
Yeah.
I think after a year and a half, you really can start to get a pretty good feel about who somebody is. And I think that after a year and a half, you should probably be able to trust them. Yeah. And if you can't trust them, maybe you just shouldn't be in a relationship.
Yeah. I definitely don't think that you should be a year and a half in thinking you should post in one of these groups that's like women looking out for each other, because if you've been with someone for a year and a half and now you have to worry about someone else looking out for you, like you're in the wrong relationship.
Yeah.
And like maybe what he's saying is true, that like these lies were said about him, but I have to say for the most part, I think what people say in these groups is more so meant to be fact because they're trying to protect each other. No one's saying these things just to like shit on people for no reason. Like these things are, and like maybe one or two people have like negative intentions here and there, but for the most part, it's like pretty stable people looking out for each other in the dating world. And like, okay, maybe not stable, maybe not everyone's stable, but like normal people doing normal dating life. And we're just looking out for each other. Like if something crazy happened on your date with Brad last night and I have a date with Brad tonight, I would love for you to warn me about that. I think that's very important. I think these groups are very important, but I don't think that like after dating someone for a year and a half officially, I'm going to post this person that I'm dating and being like, all right, spill the tea. And all these girls are going to come out of the woodwork and be like, he's trash. I don't know. I just don't think that you need to be posting him at this point.
I think that what you're saying, that's the intention of the group. Girls started these groups because they wanted to look out for each other, but I do think that it also does provide a place where people can just bash other people.
True.
And I've seen so many like random you know how there's Reddit threads with Facebook posts and they'll like screenshot a whole one and put it in. I've seen posts where people are literally just like making fun of guys in these groups. So I think that you're right about the intention, but in certain cases, it can turn negative.
Okay.
So who knows if what these girls were saying were true, but I also think something to keep in mind, and this is a positive and a negative about a group like this. Let's say he went on a date with a girl and they just really didn't vibe. Maybe they had different senses of humor. Maybe either one of them made some like off-brand joke or like said something that they thought the other person would take lightly, but then they took offense to it. Like, and then one of them leaves the date and is like, oh my God, that guy was so rude, or that girl was so mean, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like based off like 1 hour with a complete stranger. And a lot of times on first dates, people are nervous. People are like putting their foot in their mouth, saying the wrong thing. I don't necessarily think that every time you go on a first date with someone, you get an accurate representation of who they are. So I think in that sense, these groups could be negative. Overall, I think it's a good idea, I guess, because so many girls can avoid going on dates with bad people, but I can see how it would get negative.
I guess so, the whole to get back to the story, I think her situation has to be very negative if she is a top contributor to this group, meaning she's commenting on majority of these posts, has something to say about majority of what's posted. Have you dated every man in this group, or do you just have something to say about everything that's posted here? And now suddenly a year and a half into your relationship, you're like, all right, let's get some tea on my man. Like, you are in a negative situation that I personally couldn't be in. I personally couldn't do it.
The point that I'm getting at with like where these groups can be negative is she's looking for validation, and people in this group have posted negative experiences about her current boyfriend from likely years ago because they've been dating for a year and a half. So if one person, or if two people, because he said there was two people had a negative experience in their perception of what a negative experience is on a first date with this guy 2 years ago, and now she is basing her current perception of her current boyfriend based off of two girls' experiences with him 2 years ago, I feel like that's another layer of the story. So
right,
I feel
but I'm saying that's even more contributing to this negative situation she's in.
Yeah.
And like, couldn't be me. And there's someone else that we have to throw shade at in this story, and it's whoever leaked that he was posted in this group.
Yeah.
Because these are supposed to be confidential, people not sharing what's said about people outside of this group so that we can protect the privacy and protect people sharing their private stories and experiences. And someone leaked that this man was posted, and this man shared it back to this man. So I don't know whose story this is, but girls, you gotta remember, girls support girls. You should not be leaking what's said in these groups. I don't care if it's to your husband who knows this man. Don't do it. You gotta protect each other. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox now, but like, don't leak these things unless it's like a whole bunch of slander is being said. Like,
I mean, maybe they felt like it was.
With 2 comments.
I wonder if you were in a Facebook group that was like, oh, don't share what's posted, and then your friend's boyfriend, or maybe you had a guy friend and they started dating this girl and their relationship was tumultuous, and you had so much loyalty to your guy friend, and you knew that they finally were like hopefully getting past the hump, and they had trust issues in the past of their 1.5 year long relationship, whatever, and you saw the girl posting this, would you really be that loyal to a girl you didn't even like?
I think it's different because it's like, so you're saying that my guy friend posted, you're saying is dating a girl. I'm just going to use names of people that I know. I'm going to use co-host names. So you're telling me that my friend is Jimmy.
Yeah.
And he just started dating this new girl, Rebecca.
1.5 years ago.
And Rebecca has now posted in this group asking about Jimmy.
Yeah. And maybe you don't like Rebecca. Maybe you barely know her. Maybe because of all the tumultuous things that Jimmy tells you about her, you're on the rocks. She's on the rocks for you. You're like, I don't know if we can trust her just yet.
And now a year and a half, someone posted in this group, Rebecca posted in this group and was like, what do we know about Jimmy?
Yeah, trying to find dirt on him.
And it's not necessarily trying to find dirt, though. You keep going back to that, and I don't know that I think that that's it. This is people posting to, like, know if they're being safe. If I posted someone in one of these groups, it's to know that this person's not, like, a crazy person. They're not going to stalk me. They're not going to go rogue. It's to, like, protect myself and the girls around me. I'm not posting anyone to get dirt on anyone.
I just feel like after 1.5 years of dating someone, like, what else
maybe
are you
she
posting?
doesn't know. Maybe she thinks he's cheating on her and she wants to know if he's out on the dating apps.
And you would think that trying to find out and if someone's cheating on you and on dating apps isn't dirt.
It's not dirt. It's like protecting your own relationship. It's not just like, all right, girls, let's talk shit on my mans. What do you know about him? It's, is my man on these dating apps? I need to know because I've been with him for 1.5 years. That's
I think
it's more innocent and like than you're making it sound.
But I also think that me just saying, oh, she's looking for dirt on him, like, it's not that deep. Like, she's looking for any negative things about him.
Okay, but you're making it sound like it's like horrible the way you're saying it. Anyway.
Okay.
If Rebecca posted about my friend Jimmy in one of these dating apps and there was some comments and everyone was like, oh, great guy, like whatever, and there was 2 comments saying negative things, I personally don't think I would leak it because unless it's literally someone saying like, I heard this Jimmy is an escaped convict and he murdered someone, like, okay, maybe I'm gonna step in a little bit. But like if they're just like, oh, went on a date with him 2 years ago, it was a horrendous date, like I'm not gonna go to him and be like, oh my God, 2 girls that you dated 2 years ago commented these horrible things. Like,
okay,
I
maybe you wouldn't go and say what his like exes said about him because that's kind of irrelevant. I think that most people would tell their guy friend if their current relationship didn't trust them enough to just be like date them and was looking for information about them on the internet from strangers.
I think it would depend on what all the comments were. What if there were comments on there like, yeah, I've seen him out recently, or like, I see him being flirty, then she had the right to post and ask.
Okay, question then. Okay, so let's say there was a guys group, okay? So
I'm sure there is.
My boyfriend of 1.5 years, we'll use literally our relationship. My boyfriend of 1.5 years posts in a group and says, hey, any information on Kelee? Like, anybody have experience on her? Like, have you seen her on dating apps? I would bet that every person that's a loyal friend to me would be like, this guy doesn't trust you. He's going and he's snooping. He's asking strangers' opinions. He's trying to find out any information he can about you. He definitely doesn't trust you. You really think people wouldn't say that?
I think I would wait and see what the comments said, because if people were like, yeah, she's on dating apps, then I'm not going to come running to you and like try to get you to be able to lie and protect your back. Like, just because you're friends with someone doesn't make them the right in their relationship.
I just think that the fact that she's asking strangers their opinions or trying to figure out if he's on dating apps, it shows that she does not trust him. And I feel like most people would be loyal to their friend regardless of the rules of some random Facebook group they're in, and be like, dude, your girlfriend clearly doesn't trust you. She's literally asking strangers about their experiences with you.
I think two things. One, that circles back to what I said at the beginning. This whole situation is just negative. The fact that she even thinks she should be posting. Like, obviously, I agree that this whole thing from the get-go is a problem. I agree that I have never been in a relationship where at a year and a half, I thought I should post trying to find out if my boyfriend's cheating on me, because if I didn't trust them, I wouldn't be with them. I agree that this whole situation is sketch. However, I think that it's all situational. I think that if someone posted about my boyfriend or my friend, their boyfriend of a year and a half, I would have to read the comments, because if girls are commenting like, yes, I see him on dating apps, or yes, he's tried to hook up with me in the last year and a half, I'm not going to go scurrying to him and be like, oh my God, girls are calling you out in this group. Like, he's wrong. He's cheating on her. The truth needs to come out.
Okay, I agree with you. I see what you're saying.
It's all situational.
Okay, I agree with you. If people are currently like, oh yeah, he's on Hinge, I do agree with you. I would be like, okay, well yeah, he's my friend, but he's doing something fucked up. Yeah, I agree. But what if all the comments were people from years ago that went on one date with him that he's claiming they're not true? I don't know if they are or not, but let's just say it was girls from years ago being like, oh, he did X, Y, and Z to me. And you're like, that doesn't sound like my friend. And I don't really like how these girls are talking about him. Or maybe you know the girls. You're like, oh, I remember when my friend dated him. I agree that if people were saying actively he's a shitty person, he's doing this today. Yes. But all of these things were from his past.
I guess, but at the same time, like, just because you heard his side of the story, there's three sides to every story. Like, his side, her side, and the truth. And just because these girls are saying these things, just because he's your friend, you don't know how he acts in the dating world. So just because he's saying these things aren't true, or you don't think that that sounds like your friend, doesn't mean that they're not true. Does that mean you should automatically leak the information to protect someone that you don't know the truth about?
But that's why I feel like I wouldn't go to my friend and be like, oh, these bitches from your past, and here's their name, and here's their literal full name, and here's what they're saying about you. I think that a lot of people might be like, just so you know, your girlfriend doesn't trust you. And here's one piece of evidence that shows that she doesn't trust you.
I think that's fair, but I think it's different to be like leaking all this shit and like sending screenshots to like a random person and being like, oh my God, like this guy's in this group and all these people are commenting these things. It's like, I don't know how that person acted in the past.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really know somebody, and like, I don't know, I feel like it comes down to like ethics versus morals. Like, they're not the same thing. Like, you might feel like this moral obligation to protect your friend, but like ethically, you need to protect the society. Like, you need to protect all the people that your friend has dated. Just because they're your friend doesn't mean that they're like out there treating women right.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's very situational, and you're right. I think that if anything were to be leaked, it should just be, hey, your girlie doesn't trust you. She did post you in this group, and I just think you need to address it with her, versus screenshots of what everyone's saying about him and like leaking it, because it's like, he's gonna defend himself no matter what, whether those things are true or not. So let's not like stir up the pot here. Let's just say like, what matters is that your girlfriend doesn't trust you and you need to address it with her. We don't need to be bringing up what girls said from 2 years ago, whether it's true or not, because you're going to protect yourself, whether it's true or not. Those girls are going to protect themselves, whether it's true or not. And we're never going to get the truth out of the story. So let's not like go like dipping our fingers into pots where they don't belong. Let's just like stick with facts and like not go spilling tea that isn't ours.
Yeah, I agree that it wasn't right that random people are screenshotting like all the girls' names that posted about him and like their experiences, because they're allowed to share whatever they want about whoever they want. But I just also think that so many people would tell their friend if they saw their girlfriend posting about it. So whether most people, and I'm just assuming here, this is just my guess, I could be completely wrong. I'm guessing that most people would tell their friend if their partner posted to them in a group.
Yeah.
Whether people would give them every piece of information in the comments, like, I think that might be 50-50. It might be 60-40. Like, who knows? I don't have a guess for that. But I do think that a lot of people would tell their friend if their partner posted about them. And I guess it would really be situational if, like, I would tell my friend. But I think that if, let's say it was you, if I was in a Facebook group and your boyfriend after a year and a half was posting and saying, hey, any tea on Erin, any information on Erin, I'm not going to lie, I'd be screenshotting and sending it right to you. I would have zero loyalty to a Facebook group, to a random man. All of my loyalty would be to my friend or my sister, and I wouldn't care. If I'm going to get kicked out of the group, I wouldn't care.
I guess I just think that, like, you have to let it be situational.
Yeah.
In the sense that, like, you can trust someone so... We had a story about this on the podcast before where, like, it turned out that the sibling was, like, crazy obsessed with the sibling's girlfriend. And we were like, how do we approach this? Like, you might think you know someone. Like, you might think you know your close guy friend, but you don't know how they treat women.
Yeah.
Like, I can think of multiple people in my head that are in our lives that we thought we could trust in the past.
Yeah.
And they were horrible, shitty people to women. And we did not see that. We did not know that. We had no idea.
Yeah.
So I think that you have to almost, like, let these comments play out and see what people are saying before you shut it down.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it's one thing to come to me, your sister. It's another thing to, like...
Your sister.
It's another thing to, like, immediately go to a guy that you've known for a few years, and you might think they're your close friend, but you don't know how they treat women in the dating world.
I guess what I'm saying is, though, like, maybe this was his brother. Maybe it was his best friend. Like, there is someone that feels that they know him, that has the most loyalty to him in his life, that is
you don't know
him.
that, though. You could also, it could just be someone who loves tea and is like, oh shit, you just got posted, this is crazy.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean that it's someone who is so loyal to them.
I guess. I just think that,
I've had people send me screenshots of these chats about people that are, like, someone who I'm not that close with has sent me screenshots about someone else that I know being posted, and it's like, you don't feel a diehard loyalty to me or them. You're just excited that you know people being posted in this group, and that could very well be what's going on. And I know that I feel like I'm like coming off as like I will ride or die for these groups. I'm not. I just think that, like, people get way too crazy and, like, think that, like, we have to be loyal to everyone. It's like, hold your horses. Like, you should be loyal to the people you love, but that doesn't mean that they're, you know, like, every murderer has a mom that loves them. Like, let's be real here for a second.
I feel like you and I right now are making different points, because everything you're saying, I'm like, yeah, I agree with that too. But, like, at the same time, I think anyone who's posting something on the internet, like, you need to be for real. Like, there's a chance that somebody's going to tell them, and it doesn't mean that they're a shitty person for telling them. It doesn't mean that they're, like, betraying the female population because this got back to him. Like I said, if I saw my sister's boyfriend posting in the group, I can't lie, I would be sharing it. So I'm not betraying the male population by telling her.
You are.
Yeah, but I'm saying we're making different points. Like, I agree with everything you're saying, but I think this girl, like, he also, like, it got back to him, and the person that shared it with him isn't necessarily a shitty person. Maybe they just trying. They could be, sure, but they also could just be trying to look out for him. We don't know that, but I guess that, like, all of that's, like, I feel like we made very good points, and, like, it's a really interesting conversation and, like, debate. But at the same time, like, the question that he's asking is, like, is it okay that she posted in this group, and, like, what would we do next? Because
I guess, okay, so let's get back to the story. Is it okay that she posted in this group? No, it's fucking weird. But did you give her a reason to not trust you? Like, have you acted weird? Have you hidden your phone? Like, have you been doing weird things? Do you have, like, a weird, like, change your password on your phone so she can't see your apps? Like, I'm sorry, but if I was dating someone and they started acting really weird, I might want to know. Yeah. But you have to think I mean, it's so hard. You really have to think situationally. If it was me in this situation and my significant other of a year and a half posted me and they were like, all right, what's the tea? Like, is this person out there dating? And I knew in, like, this, because the OP that posted this, it's his girlfriend that posted about him, right? Mm-hmm. I know in my heart that I'm completely innocent, and this person just genuinely decided that they don't trust me, then I'm not going to keep dating them because I've done nothing to break your trust. Like, I would never treat someone like that, like, whatever. But if I maybe gave them an inkling as to why they should think they should question something about me, I need to reevaluate how I've been treating this person.
Right.
And that's what you want my opinion? That's what OP needs to hear. You need to look at yourself and think, what could have triggered this post? If you know, because the only person that knows your truth is you, if you know that you've done nothing to make her feel this way and she just decided she doesn't trust you, you have to walk away from someone like that, because they're probably not ever going to fully trust you or be crazy or whatever they have going on. But if you can really look back and think, oh, maybe I have been weird or distant, or you know what's going on in your relationship. We don't. Think about what's going on, and you have to decide how to proceed based on that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with everything you just said. In the comments, there's not a lot of other information.
Read the top comment.
It was deleted.
Frick.
But the reply to the top comment is, according to OP, she was cheating on him for 8 months.
Okay, so let's just walk away from this one.
Yeah.
We'll call that one quits. Next.
I think, like, overall, it's weird. I wouldn't be happy.
It's weird, but there's a reason it was posted. She's either crazy or you give her a reason to post it.
Yeah.
And it's all bad.
Am I the asshole for saying no to being a bridesmaid to my childhood best friend for being engaged to my ex?
Oh, shit.
So Jane, 29 female, and I, 29 female, have known each other since we were in middle and high school together. She went to college in California. I went to college in Georgia. During college, Jane and I visited each other. She's younger than me, so I flew to LA for her 21st birthday, and we always met up when we were home, etc. My junior year, I met Kyle, a senior at the time. After he graduated, he moved to New York for a job. While I was not intending on staying on the East Coast, I ended up also moving to New York, partially to be with him. Kyle decided he wants a change of pace and wants to move to LA. We talked a lot about it, and I said if we could wait 6 months and move together since I just got promoted. He found a job and he moved to LA in May of that year instead of waiting. It's worth noting that Jane had moved to LA in January of that year. January. Okay. I'm not sure at what point Jane and Kyle got together. They were already familiar with each other because of all the times Jane had visited and the times when I brought Kyle home. Kyle and I started fighting a lot more. I was stressed and frustrated. That August, we broke up. Kyle and I kept talking, and he decided he didn't like LA and was going to move back to New York. Then COVID hits. I find out that they may be together through friends. I asked Jane about it, and she said they were just hanging out a lot because he was still new and didn't have a lot of friends. Jane was constantly posting stories on Instagram, and they looked too close to just be friends, and I didn't believe her. She kept saying they're just friends, and I unfollowed both of them on Instagram, and neither of them said anything. Jane and I haven't really talked since everything happened. And now they're engaged. Jane asked me to be a bridesmaid, and I said no. I felt it would be a little uncomfortable for me. I felt Kyle had been stringing me along while he was in LA, and I feel awkward that they weren't honest about it from the beginning. But Jane is saying I can bring my current boyfriend as my plus one, and Kyle agreed with her, and she...
How kind of them.
I know. She and my sister both think I'm overreacting and should just say yes. So am I the asshole for saying no?
Even your sister is on their side. Yo, your sister is not loyal. I'm
Speaking
sorry.
of loyalty.
I'm sorry, but if my sister's best friend started dating her ex, I have no loyalty to you. That's for damn sure. Like, your sister... I can't. I mean, whatever. Sisters have different relationships than we do. But, like, she's marrying your ex and, like, they weren't straightforward with you about it. That's so weird. Like, I won't... No, I don't care unless you literally came to me before you started dating and you were like, I think I might have feelings for your ex. And I was on the best terms with my ex and we had no hard feelings for each other. We weren't like distant or stringing each other along. We just decided we didn't work out. You came to me months later and you were like, hey, we live in the same city. Could we try it? And I was like, you know what? I'm on good terms with him. I'm happy in my relationship. Sure, why not? Unless that was the case, I'm not coming to your wedding. Sorry. And I'm certainly not supporting your marriage.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to date your friend's ex, you have to realize that they likely, I would think that most people, another guess of mine, I'm going to guess that most people would not want their best friend to date their most influential ex. So if you're going to date your friend's ex, you need to mentally be prepared to choose between the two. Yes. So in, I'm sure, rare occasions, it has worked where you didn't need to choose between the two. But I would think in most situations, people are not going to be okay with this.
I actually know multiple I have multiple friends that have dated their friend's ex, or their ex has dated their friend. Like both situations. I actually know multiple people in my life, which is weird because I feel like this is not a common thing.
Yeah.
But I do know multiple couples who have done this, and I've very much seen both of those things happen where like it is okay and they do stay in each other's lives, or it's totally not okay and they have to absolutely cut each other off. And I think it all trickles down to how serious you and that ex were, how close you and that best friend were, and how honest and open you were with each other about the whole thing.
I agree with that too, because like part of me is like, if my best friend was like, oh, I want to date your ex, that would be so emotionally tumultuous for me. And I'd be like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're crazy to think this is okay. Like, I can barely think about that guy. Like, how are you now going to go date him? Like, whatever. If they just were like messing around and they were like fucking around and found out that they weren't meant to be, it was a dumb hookup, I'd be so pissed at my friend. I'd be like, well, I hate saying I told you so, but I would literally have to say, I told you so. Like, was that actually worth it? I'd be furious.
See, I have a friend that happened to too.
I would just be so upset. But I feel like if my best friend, who I love so much, then married the guy, like they were engaged and they were getting married, I might have to take a step back and realistically be like, I mean, clearly they're meant to be, right? Like the universe doesn't like bring you, she's meant to go through this, you know? And if they last forever, the longer that marriage lasts, the less mad I can be.
I agree.
Because I'm like, yeah, it's just shitty that we dated beforehand, like before you guys did.
Yeah.
So I can see both sides of it.
I know the more you're speaking, the more I'm thinking about people that I know that this has happened to, and it's so crazy to me because it's like I can't fathom it happening to me. I seriously can't fathom it, and I really can't fathom one of my loved ones in my life just hooking up with my ex. But like I have friends that this has happened to, and like I've watched all the different scenarios of how this can play out. I've seen it all, and I'm like, more power to you for being able to support this marriage. More power to you for being able to cut off your best friend who slept with your ex. And more power to you for accepting that, like, you know, the person you're going to marry is, like, worth cutting off someone else. Like, I have seen these all play out, and I am like, holy shit, how did all these people make these decisions?
I know.
Because I don't know what I would do.
It's so crazy. I really do feel like, though, if you were genuinely happy in your relationship, in your current relationship, and your friend is dating your ex, I feel like the more secure and happy you are in your own life, the more easily you're going to accept this other situation.
Agreed.
And the more like life experience, the more relationship experience, because I feel like as I get older, I just see like relationships are formed and people meet in so many ways. Very, very rarely are they like a meet cute where you have this like cute. Do you not know what that is?
No.
Oh my gosh. You're kidding.
A what?
A meet cute. Erin.
What the hell does a meet cute?
A meet cute is when someone meets like in like if you bump into each other in the coffee shop and you're like, ooh, like
is this like a Gen Z term?
No, this is like a very well-known term. Like every rom-com is about a meet cute.
A meet cute.
That's literally what it's called.
Where did you hear this term?
Everywhere.
People just say this in everyday life.
It's an extremely common term, I promise. SNL has skits about meet cutes with Kirsten Stewart starring in it. It's literally, it's such a huge term in pop culture. Yes. So if you meet someone because you're on the same like intramural basketball team, like that's a meet cute. You meet in the wild. If you like bump into each other at the bar, it's a meet cute. If your friend introduces you to their mutual friend and they're like, ooh, I think you guys would get along, you're just like introduced through friends. I wouldn't consider that. I wouldn't consider it a meet cute. When people meet on dating apps, I wouldn't consider it a meet cute. I guess I'll put it like this. Have you ever met someone and they seem almost like embarrassed or like shy to tell you how they met?
Yeah.
That was probably not a meet cute. Because it's typically, if it's a meet cute, people are like so excited and people really, really get attached to the story. So think about the people that you know that are dating someone and they're really, really attached to the story about how they met.
Okay.
That would probably be a meet cute.
A meet cute.
Yeah.
I hate this term.
I feel like it's just the best term to describe
Meet cute. Meet
why
cute.
people are emotionally attached to certain relationships.
It sounds like a Pokemon.
It does. It does, yes. It actually sounds kind of cute. No pun intended.
It sounds like a little cute animal, a meet cute. Like I'm going to name my puppy that. Meet cute.
Meet cute.
Come here. Sit meet cute.
That would actually be a cute name.
My meet cute.
Yeah.
If I never get my own meet cute, I'll have to go out and buy a meet cute.
So what story were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Dating the ex. I would think that most people would agree that dating your friend's ex is not a meet cute. Dating, like online dating. Like I don't know why, but I feel like a lot of people are like embarrassed to tell me that, oh, we met on Tinder or we met on Hinge. It's like, I would think like 95% of people met their significant other. If you started dating in the past like year or two, you probably met on an app. So like people shouldn't
especially during COVID.
Exactly. I feel like people tend to be more embarrassed about that kind of thing than if they just like met in the wild. And I feel like
meet cute.
Yeah. Everyone, and I've done it too, you get like emotionally attached to this story of how you met someone and it like keeps you like hanging on to the relationship like a little bit too long. Whereas if it was like, oh, we just met on a dating app, like I can get over it. It's just a guy from a dating app. But then if you met in the wild, you'd be like, oh, well, we met at a bar and like blah, blah, blah. And it was cute. We spent the whole night together. It's like, well, all of that really means nothing. Being realistic, like
it's just to meet cute.
You just met someone. Meeting someone in a cute way or meeting someone on a dating app, in my opinion, you have an equal chance of that relationship working out or not.
Yeah.
But I think everyone would love to just like meet someone at a bar, meet someone in the wild. Have you heard the term
own meet cute?
Have you heard the term meeting someone in the wild?
I mean, vaguely. Like I feel like people just like jokingly say that. Like, oh, did you meet on an app? Like, no, it was out in the wild.
Okay. I think the reason that you probably haven't heard that term as much is because they're rare. Like how often are people meeting in a cute way and then they end up together?
I think that I've just literally never heard anyone call it that. Like, oh, we met at a bar. Like my friends met at this bar in Philly. And it's like, they're gonna just tell me what bar they met at. They're not gonna say, we have a meet cute.
I think some people might if they were emotionally tied to the story, but I also wouldn't think that just meeting someone at a bar is enough to call it a meet cute. Like typically something interesting or like out of the norm has to happen for people to call it this.
I just think that my friends are just like not cutesy.
But I didn't hear it from my friends. Like my friends aren't like, we had a meet cute. It's like I hear it in SNL and like on podcasts and in rom-coms and movies.
So I'm just uncultured.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Anyway, so I have no clue what I was talking about and why I brought up meet cutes. You guys, I'm at a loss. I have to refresh my mind about what this story was about. Oh yeah, she's being a bridesmaid in a wedding. Oh, I think this is what I was getting at. As you have like more experience in relationships and you hear about more people's relationships, you start to realize that the world brings people together in so many different ways.
Like a meet cute.
Well, I was going to say, most of them are not meet cutes. Mm-hmm. Most people don't meet their boyfriend or their future husband or their girlfriend, whatever, in a cute way. Most people meet through friends of friends, through mutual friends. People meet in crazy ways. And the way that your life plays out, it's one of those things where it's like you can't connect the dots looking forward, but you can connect the dots looking backward. And you're like, why did this happen to me? Like, what was the reason that this person was brought onto my path for this and that and whatever? And we both ended up here and here. And I think that if you were insecure and you were deeply unhappy, it would be way easier to be like, cool, my best friend's dating my ex. Like, so nice of her, so considerate of her. And now I'm alone and I just have this new boyfriend that I barely like and she's inviting me to her wedding. Like, so nice of you. If you were genuinely so secure and you're like, I found my person.
And
like,
meet cute.
It doesn't matter how you met them. You're like, this is my person. And looking back on my life, I was never meant to be with that guy. Yeah, we played a short role, but Kyle was never my person.
Yeah.
But now that I see my best friend and Kyle dating, it's crazy. It annoyed me at times. It made me upset at times. But overall, I can admit that they're meant to be together. Look how happy they are together. Mm-hmm. And I'm meant to be in this place in my life that I'm secure in. And I also think that getting to that place takes time. Like, you can be really, really happy in your life, but this jarring piece of information, which is my best friend is dating my ex and now they're getting married, married. That might take anyone some time to like come to terms with, even if they are happy and secure in their life. So I think it'll just take time, but I hope that this OP, if her best friend and her ex are truly meant to be and they're happy in their marriage and it lasts forever, I think that over time OP will be able to take a step back and be like, it's crazy that happened. It's crazy that I knew him first, and it's crazy that that's how they met.
But at the same time, she is not an asshole, and they cannot fault her for where she stands and how she feels right now.
Oh, of course.
Is she an asshole for not being a bridesmaid in the wedding? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And they cannot fault you, and they cannot make you feel guilty about not wanting to love every second of this relationship.
Yeah, I totally agree.
You don't owe them anything.
I agree. I think the best thing OP could say to her is, I'm so happy that you're happy. If you feel that you found your person, that's amazing for you. This information is hard for me to accept right now. I love you. I used to date him. I'm sure you can see where I'm coming from as a friend. If you could put yourself in my shoes for a second here, see how I'm seeing it. It's very difficult for me. I cannot be a bridesmaid at this time. I would love to go through life, and I hope that I can accept your relationship and support you as time goes on. But right now, this information is so jarring and upsetting for me. I won't be able to be a good bridesmaid to you, and therefore I cannot be in your wedding. You got to be honest.
Honesty is the best policy.
Open and honest communication.
We had to round out our yearly bonus with the open and honest communication.
Any final thoughts on the bridesmaid?
You have to be honest, but do not let them make you feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Don't let them. You don't owe them anything. They're hurting you, and that's okay. Your feelings are valid.
Your feelings are valid.
Valid.
I cannot wait to eat one of these cupcakes.
I'm going to eat one too.
Should we take them out and cheers them for the thumbnail?
I want vanilla.
I want chocolate. Yin and yang, yin and yang.
It's because I'm blonde and Kelly's
Oh my god. Oh, awesome. Awesome.
For those of you not watching the video, I just picked up a cupcake and the icing fell off onto the couch. And then when I tried to pick it up, the icing fell off again and got more on the couch. So now I'm covered in icing and the couch is covered in icing.
Now I get to do laundry.
Yay. Happy 1 year.
Happy 1 year.
Happy birthday, Stop the Internet.
Happy birthday.
Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
Thank you guys so much for listening to our podcast. Thank you for, if you were here from the beginning, I love you even more.
Please, like, if you are like, I know who you are, you avid, loyal commenters on Spotify and YouTube. I see your profile every week. Like, we appreciate you guys so much, and I'm being very serious when I say this. Send us your address on, like, DM us on Instagram.
Send us your social security number.
Because I want to send you a thank you gift. And, like, I am so appreciative of you guys, and I have a shopping problem. I'm the merch queen of this team because I have a shopping problem. I want to send you a gift. So please either DM Stop the Internet Podcast on Instagram or me at ERINBOVE. And I want to send you a thank you gift. Trust me, I know who you are. Thank you.
You have to give us a compliment in the DM though.
Or send me a video of a dog.
Or
either one.
You have to reference one of our other podcasts, because if this is your first time, you can't be sending. You know what? F it. If it is your first time, who cares? As long as you promise to subscribe and come back.
Yeah.
We'll send you a gift.
Yeah. We love you.
We appreciate you.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.